You're a first-term legislator, but you've been around the building.
Yeah.
What does your past experience bring to this position? And why would a first-term legislator decide to challenge veteran legislators?
So to answer your first question, I think that my experience in the building before gives me an unexpected depth of history. I think there's not a lot of people in the House caucus that can remember discussions around the Oregon Salmon Plan or why the parks went off of general fund to being fee funded and the days and the times when we might have actually closed our state parks. And some of the issues for how we fund things the way we do now, are a part of my own personal history from having had the privilege and opportunity to serve in the building at a staff level a really long time ago. But I also think that the other thing that brings to me is this benefit of having a whole lot of distance between then and now. Now you have this time in your 20s where you're working really hard and you're working all the time and you're learning stuff and you're working inside the Capitol. And then I went off and lived life and raised a family and did other things and participated in my community. And so coming back now gives me the added benefit of being a grown-up but still having a lot of legislative history somehow somewhere inside of me that gives me a little bit more context when issues come up and how I think about things.
And what was your legislative staff role in the past?
So I worked in the building under my first member I worked for was Ray Baum when he was House Majority Leader. And then we had term limits at that time. And so I worked for Ray Baum and Lynn Lundquist. And I worked for Steve Harper and Lynn Snodgrass and Mark Simmons. And so I worked in both the caucus office and I worked in the Speaker's office. And I was chief of staff in a handful of those, for a handful of those members.